Hey again, everybody, and howdy, Texans. Welcome back to the Schreiner Sports Network. My name is Ted Davis. It is time for Sit Down with Ted, and we do this from time to time to introduce you to one of the fine student athletes that we have here at Schreiner University. And today, we're going to be talking to Devin Hooper. He's a member of the baseball team and a fifth-year senior, so you're one of those super seniors, aren't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got a COVID year. Took full advantage of it.
Was there ever any doubt that you were going to come back?
No, not at all. I mean, Schreiner gave me the opportunity to play college baseball, and whenever COVID happened and our season got banged, I was really, really upset because I worked so hard to play college baseball, and then once they told me I got the opportunity to come back for a fifth year, I was going to take it all the way.
Now, how's your grad student year going?
I'm going to be honest, the master's program's rough.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but we make it work, so that's a good thing. I can't really complain, though. I mean, Schreiner's a great institution, so the education I'm getting is top tier, and it's just kind of beating me up a little bit, but that's the fun of it. That's what I came back for.
So it's been everything you thought it would be, your college years?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. I absolutely love Schreiner and the campus and the professors. I love the small classroom environment. Definitely one of the best places I could have ended up.
And what is your major? What do you want to do when you go into real life?
So I graduated last year with my bachelor's in sport management, but I'm getting my master's in education because I would love to coach at the high school or college level. So,
when did that bug to coach come into you? Because a lot of people that are coaches, they got it pretty young.
Yeah, I would say mine probably came when I was about 11 or 12. I actually met a guy. His name is Corey Patton. He's a good friend of mine. I work with him now when I go home. He kind of instilled the love of baseball to me. And working with him really made me think I want to do what he does because he completely changed my direction of baseball and the path I took. And because of him, I really wanted to start coaching and doing what he does. So I've been kind of working with him kind of under his wing. And he's a great guy, played professional baseball with the Blue Jays for a long time. And he's the reason that I want to go into the coaching world and kind of give back to the game that gave to me so much.
Does it matter what level, high school, college? Would you have a preference?
I prefer, honestly, high school because I feel like those are the golden years of baseball. That's where you really fall in love with the game, and if you want to play at the next level, that's when you decide. I mean, you see all the commitments on Twitter and stuff like that, and it's such a huge leap jumping from high school to college baseball, and I really want to instill to these guys, like, this is what you can do if you put in the work and the effort and the time, and it's just a matter of what you're willing to put in. And I think like high school is where I really want to go.
Talking to Devin Hooper, he plays for the men's baseball team here at Schreiner. So I was doing a game one day with you playing on the field. And the next day, I was over at the softball field, and Concordia came to town.
Yeah, yes, sir.
And your sister was playing for Concordia.
Yes, sir. Yeah, she's a junior over there, and she's been doing really well. A few years ago, she was ASC Freshman of the Year, so she's tearing it up over there. She's definitely got the skills. I would say she's a better softball player than I am a baseball player, which is hard to say as a brother. But she's doing great over there, so shout out to Megan.
Now, yeah, Megan Hooper plays for Concordia. Now, when you guys were growing up, did you play catch together? Did you go out and, you throw batting practice and she does?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, we spent most of our summer days outside, whether it was playing tennis ball, baseball with each other, or just going to the field because our dad got bored and he wanted to take us to do something. So, and even now, anytime I have free time, I'll take her to go hit with me because, it's hard to find people around that want to hit. So I'll take her up there. She'll throw to me. I'll throw to her. She's pretty competitive, though. That's the thing. With her as competitive as she is, it's always a competition. It's never easy.
Now, does she throw to you overhand?
Yeah. No, she can bring it a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, she throws pretty well. So,
what I like about you when you're playing is you can play a lot of positions.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You can play third base. You can pitch. You play the outfield. Do you prefer one over the other?
Honestly, no. I'm pretty comfortable just about everywhere. I love the infield. It's just been where I've been my entire life, but also the transition to the outfield didn't come as difficult as I thought it would. But in the sense of like having a preference, I would say no, but if I got to pick, I'd probably say third base in the infield, yeah.
Now, there was a major league player named Cesar Tovar who it was in the late 60s with the Minnesota Twins, and he was a utility guy, kind of like you. He could play a lot of different positions. And just they were out of the race, and one game late in the year, they had him play every position.
Yeah,
He was pitcher, first base. He played every position over 9 innings. So could you do that? Could you play every position?
Yes, sir, I could. I've played all 9 positions in a Shriner uniform.
Okay.
In my 5 years here, I got to start at every single position.
Wow.
And I've actually talked to coach about possibly one game letting me play all 9 positions as my last goodbye to the team. And I don't know if he's up for it. I'll have to go talk to him again.
You could be the modern day Pepe Tovar.
It'd be cool.
Yeah. Catching seems tough to me. Was it for you?
I mean, to be a catcher, you got to be tough.
Yeah.
Props to those guys. Shout out to Yayo and JD and the guys that catch for us. But wears on the knees. I would say it's pretty tough. So maybe he'd be a little worried to put me back there. But
I played high school baseball, and they made a transition from third base. I like third base.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I had a Brooks Robinson glove. I don't know if you know who Brooks Robinson was.
I do not.
One of the greatest third basemen ever. Look up the highlights of the 1970 World Series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. And he almost single-handedly won the game for Baltimore, or won the series for Baltimore with his glove.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Brooks Robinson. You'll as a third baseman, you'll love his plays.
Yes, sir. I'll go look him up.
YouTube him.
Yes, sir, I will.
Okay, and so I played third base, but they moved me to shortstop, and I found the transition to shortstop to be tough. Was that a tough position for you to play?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, so the angle of the ball is completely different when you move from one part of the field to the other. So it's just a matter of getting a bunch of reps over there. I would say it's a real tough position to transition over just because of the footwork and the hands. I mean, we have a great shortstop, Chance Goins. He does a great job with his hands and feet.
And he transferred. He played a lot of third base last year.
Yeah, me and him, he took over the shortstop role, and I bounced over to third. And just watching him play over there at short's pretty impressive, just the way he transitioned from going to third to short because of the footwork, the hands. It's a totally different attack angle on the ball, reading the ball off the bat. It's pretty cool to watch him do it.
Now, what about first base? Because, in Moneyball, they talked about, okay, it's tougher to play first base than you think. Is it?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, first base is a weird position. It's one of those positions that you kind of got to have the love for standing around because you don't get too many and too many balls. But when you do, they call it a hot corner for a reason. So.
And the throws are in the dirt, and you've got to dig them out, right?
Yes, sir, yeah. They do struggle a little bit over there sometimes when it comes to picking balls and stuff. But, that's the name of the position, and it is what it is,
What do you enjoy more, gapping one when you really get one or hitting one over the fence, or when the game's on the line and you're on the mound and you strike out a guy? Which one is more satisfying?
For me, that's a tough one. Oh, no. I'd probably have to say gapping one.
Okay.
Hitting that ball flush and watching the outfielders run for it is a good feeling.
Yeah.
So I would probably have to say gapping one. But on the other hand, striking someone out with the game on the line is huge, and it's a feeling like no other. So I would say gap one for sure.
Being a pitcher, does that help you as a hitter? Because do you get into the mindset of when you're hitting, okay, if I were pitching, this is what I might be doing to me? I would
say so, yeah. I mean, when I go up to the plate, I try not to think as much. I try to clear my mind as much as possible, but I do catch myself sometimes I'm in a pitcher's count. What am I going to do here if I was on the mound? And then it ends up working out in my favor because I was right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to guess a lot. I like to just use my reaction skills. But, yeah, I would say it does definitely affect my thinking sometimes.
Baseball team's off to a good start. Now you start conference play soon, and that's where you really will be tested. But this team can hit, and you've got a lot of guys who can rake it. Is the pitching better this year? Because it seems to be so far.
I would say, yeah, the pitching is better. But collectively, I think it's not as much as the talent we have is better, but just the fact that we've come together as a team and we believe in the process that the coaches instilled for us preseason in the fall going into this season. Confidence is huge, especially in the game of baseball. And our pitching staff, we've been doing a really good job of attacking our hitters and just staying on top of our game, mentally being focused at practice during the games, make sure we're always locked in. So I would say that mentality-wise, our pitching staff is definitely better. Yes, sir. And there's not an easy out for you guys when you're at the plate. Oh no, sir. Yeah, our lineup is pretty solid, top to bottom, and it's been that way for a couple years. I mean, it's not something that's just shown up. I mean, our whole lineup has always been a team that hits pretty well, and we got guys that swing it really, really well. Yayo Cardoza, he's a great bat in the lineup, a tough out. And same thing with JD and Zay, and even Chance Goins, he's swinging the bat really, really well. And, they're great ball players, tough outs, and it just makes the lineup work playing as a team.
When I was growing up playing, we didn't have metal bats, so we had wood bats. Have you hit with a wood bat? Which do you prefer?
I actually love a wood bat. Yeah, I prefer. I got to spend the summer playing in the Prospect League up in West Virginia, and it's an all wood bat league, and I love the feeling of a wood bat over metal any day. Wood bats are just true baseball, die hard. That's just me. That's where my heart lies, is wood bats. You
talked about hitting that sweet spot when you tag one. There's nothing like the sound of it coming off a wood bat. The ping is not quite the same as the crack.
No, it's completely different. That wood sound is beautiful. I mean, it's like top 10 best sounds in the world. Just letting that ball hit the barrel, and it just sounds so nice coming off the bat.
Now, do you golf?
I do not golf, no, sir. I cannot hit a golf ball to save my life.
I wonder, because a lot of baseball players are golfers, and they talk about that same thing when you hit the golf ball flush. It's kind of like the same thing when you really get the meat of the ball on the bat.
Yeah, I'm not much of a golfer. It's never really been my game. I can't hit the ball straight. So
when you were growing up, who was your favorite player? I mean, who did you look at and go, man, that I'd like to be that kind of player?
So my favorite player growing up was always Dustin Pedroia.
Okay.
Because I've always been a littler guy.
Okay.
And he was the same way. And I'm a Red Sox fan. So growing up, I watched Dustin Pedroia play. And the way he played, he just absolutely tore up the field with the way his attitude, his effort, everything. So he was my favorite player growing up. I love Dustin Pedroia. I love watching him play. I loved that Red Sox team with him and Ortiz. And they were just that team and the way he plays, because I've always been a middle infield guy until I got to Schreiner. Watching him play second base is one of my favorite things to do. I look up his highlights all the time on YouTube.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was always, like I said, a little bit smaller than everybody else, and so I had to work a little bit harder to get to where I needed to be, and I kind of used him as like my mentor to get to that spot.
Hitting is forearms, though, forearms and wrist, and you've got the wrist and the forearms to be a good hitter.
Yeah, I try to stay in the weight room a little bit, keep the size up. So
yeah. You're from Leander, and how did you become a Red Sox fan?
So my dad is actually from the Northeast. He's from Connecticut.
Okay.
And so growing up, we watched Steelers games because he's a Steelers fan.
Yeah.
And so, him being from the North and just kind of watching Steelers games every once in a while, I'd see a Red Sox game. And like I said, I loved Dustin Pedroia, and then I'd watch their games, and that's just kind of how it fell, me being a Red Sox fan. I really don't know. I just kind of started watching them, and there they were.
Pedroia's uniform was always dirty, which was kind of fun. And he had that black under his eye.
Always, yeah. He played the game hard. That's what I loved about him.
Yeah. Well, hey, Devin, it was good to meet you.
Yes,
and,
sir.
I look forward to watching your games coming up pretty soon. You've got some home games that I'll be doing, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Devin Hooper, utility, third baseman, outfield, pitcher, can play all 9 positions. Might do it this year. See you next time on Sit Down with Ted.